each Friday during the baseball season. We get the chance to talk to Jon Mozes, the Altoona Curve, in the midst right now of their longest homestand of the year. And our visit with Jon this morning, presented by Marcus & Mack, voted best law firm, best personal injury lawyer 3 years in a row in the Best of Indiana County contest. Visit them online at marcusandmack.com. Well, the good news is they found the bats that don't have holes in them last night, and they were able to actually put some lumber to them. The Curve coming up with the big win over Erie last night. Jon, I know it must be frustrating as an announcer when your ball club just can't put it together, but they did last night.
Yeah, I mean, that was a fun win. I will say that when all three phases, pitching, hitting, defense, when that all comes together, it's a lot of fun. But it has not been the case to get all three elements on the same night recently.
No, what was it? 5 out of 7 games, a shutout pitched against the Curve. And, let's just put it behind us and talk about where these guys go moving forward. First half of the season, it concludes this weekend, doesn't it?
Next weekend. Yeah, we're right around that halfway point here.
Yeah, and then you just press the reset button on the whole year. And, of course, as the season goes on, at some point after the MLB draft, there's a big shuffle of rosters in the minor league systems, and the Curve will probably be getting an influx of guys. Maybe some other fellows will disappear from the Curve roster. And everybody is watching Connor Griffin, and he's sort of taken over all of the conversation involving Bucco prospects. How about that kid?
I mean, I'm hearing really good things. I was talking to a scout with a National League club who says that he sees a guy that can really hit. And, I mean, the reports are he's playing shortstop every day now. And, I mean, I don't think it's crazy to think that he might get to Altoona this year if he keeps performing the way he has. I didn't look at the box score last night, but first 2 games for him at high A, 2 doubles in each game.
Yeah, and he had 2 more hits last night. So
he's consistent. He's played 3 games at high A, and he's had 2 hits each night.
Yeah, that's pretty darn amazing. So we'll watch that development, and it won't be long, I think, before we actually do see Connor Griffin up there. But the kid's only 19 years old. He would be an interesting guy to sit down with Termarr Johnson, because he's a guy that comes in with a tremendous reputation as a hitter of potential. And Termarr, it seems like he's been in the Pirates minor league system for a long time, but he's still just a kid, isn't he?
Just turned 21 on Wednesday this week.
Wow.
I was looking this up, partner, and I think you'll appreciate this little nugget. There's only 2 position players that have played more games before their 21st birthday for the Curve than Termarr Johnson. And there are a couple of former Curve legends, Jose Tabata and Andrew McCutcheon. Termarr played 67 games at this level before his 21st birthday. That is really impressive. And the fact that he has held his own and excelled at times, I think shows just such a maturity to his game.
Yeah, the plate discipline is what everybody talks about. The guy seems to only swing at strikes.
And that's such an important skill. I mean, in today's day and age, guys are up there, swinging as hard as they can to, put as much loft and hit the ball as hard as possible, that you almost lose some of that plate discipline. Termarr's a little bit of a throwback, right? The way he tries to work in at bat every time he goes up there. He's got a great mindset for himself when he goes to the plate. He was talking to some other folks in the media about how, when he goes to the plate, he tells himself, I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest player on the field. I'm the greatest player ever. He sort of gives himself, sort of that positive affirmation whenever he goes up to the plate, and it carries over. He's a confident kid, and it's a lot of fun watching him. He's just got a great personality about him.
Yeah, it's going to be really fascinating to watch how this second half of the season. He's a guy that if he gets super hot, I can see the Pirates moving him along too, up to Indianapolis just at the end of the season to see what he can do there. But meanwhile, we do get to continue to enjoy Termarr Johnson. Offense has been really, really difficult for the Pirates organization to come by this season, besides Connor Griffin. But the Curve has struggled, and trying to find guys that are going to consistently put the ball in play is at a real premium. Tell me about Sammy Siani. He's back now, isn't he?
Well, he's getting close. He's on a minor league rehab assignment, played for Bradenton last night. A couple of former Curve guys, Malcolm Nunez, Jace Bowen, and Sammy Siani all played for the Marauders last night. So that's a really good sign. You know, the fact that Sammy and Jace could get back to this lineup, I don't know, theoretically at some point in the next 7 to 10 days here, that'll be a really helpful element to getting this lineup and this offense back on track in Altoona. Sammy was playing really well, giving the Curve great at-bats when he had that hamstring sort of start barking at him. But, you know, I think that's one thing the Curve have missed is a little bit of length in the lineup, you know, guys that can do some damage in the middle of the order beyond the fourth hitter, and take a little bit of pressure off guys like Nick Samillo and Imanol Vargas and Brendan Dixon, you know, take some pressure off of those guys from, you know, being up there with, you know, in the fifth and sixth spots in the lineup. But, you know, having Bowen and Siani back soon in Altoona, it's going to feel like a whole new team.
Yeah, I love to watch Sammy play. I love watching Mitch Jebb play as well. He's so aggressive and old-fashioned. Brannigan is another guy. I had a home run last night for Jack. All of these guys that you're watching this season go along, and in that learning process that goes on really outside of the game as they're being coached up through the course of a day and of a week, it's a really important time for them, and you're going to see it pay off eventually in game action. You just can't wait for that to happen.
No doubt. I mean, last night's game by Mitch Jebb was really, really impressive. You know, just had a couple of really good at-bats. You know, he's been playing center field just about every day for the Curve this year. And, you know, he's spoken to us about that transition, about how it comes down to a lot of body maintenance for him. You know, he's doing more running in games than he's ever done before in his life. But he made 2 unbelievable diving plays in the field playing second base last night. You know, plays that, you know, the 5-star play, right? You know, not the routine play, like diving plays going far to his left. You're so right about that throwback element to his game where he's sort of an old school guy, plays with hustle. You know, one of his favorite guys growing up that he channels his game after is Pete Rose. You know, that he's a true energy guy out there on the field. I think that's going to keep Jebb around the Pirates roster for a long time.
Yeah. I wish he wasn't quite so reckless on the base paths, but somehow there seem to be collisions when you hear the name Mitch Jebb. There have been a few of those this year. So that's the Curve story at the plate. On the mound, Wilbur did well the other day until he ran into trouble in the sixth. Is Wilbur the guy that's really the bell cow for that pitching staff right now?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, he's the guy you trust to give you a chance to win every time he takes the ball. You know, he's cut his walk rate again this year from last year. He's missing bats with that very good split. And you know, the thing that I like is that even when he got into trouble in that sixth inning yesterday, the fastball velocity was the same, right? And he was still commanding the fastball so well, even though it was the sixth inning and, you know, Erie started to, you know, make some hard contact off him, got a couple of runs out of him before he came out of the game. You know, I think that's one thing I really like about Wilbur Dotel is that he can command his fastball beginning of the game, middle of the game, end of the game, doesn't matter. You know, I think that's a really important skill to have to be a starting pitcher. You have to command that fastball to both sides of the plate. And, you know, he's already got that skill at 22. He's looking like a starter in the big leagues for a long time.
Yeah, that's going to be fun to watch as well. You know, it's interesting that you talk about him in the sixth inning of that game the other way and Erie making the adjustments. One of the problems I find with minor league baseball is that guys don't generally get more than twice through a lineup before they're yanked out of there because of pitch counts. If you get to see a guy 3 times in one game, that's very, very rare.
It totally is. You know, I think that's not just a minor league baseball issue. You know, we see that a ton in the major leagues too. You know, you very rarely now in today's game see starting pitchers see a team for a third time through the batting order. And, it's a skill, right? To be that good that you can get a guy out 3 different ways, or have enough weapons to, still keep hitters off balance for the 3rd time you see them. And it is hard to develop those weapons. I totally agree. But I'm really happy that Dotel's getting that opportunity here at this level. Po Yi Chen is a guy that is starting to, work deeper into games as well. And he's starting to get to that 3rd time through the batting order. Also, those are important development reps that guys get at this level, because if you can't pitch in the 6th inning in Double-A, how are you going to do it in the big leagues?
Good point. Good point. All right, we're heading into a Father's Day weekend for the Altoona Curve. What's up this weekend?
Oh, we've got post-game fireworks Sunday. Our Shark-Tuna bobblehead is coming up here on June 20th. That's going to be next weekend. I'm really looking forward to it, man. Curve baseball is back, right? Now that school is out. Last night we had a great showing for our Cambria County night. We've got a lot of fun coming in front of us here in Curve, PA. And, now that the kids aren't in school and, the weather's going to hold out, looks like it's going to be a little cloudy today, but no rain. This is the time where you want to come out and enjoy some Curve baseball. Get that Curve burger going. It's here, man. I was walking around the ballpark during the game last night, and just to see the buzz of the community in the ballpark was so special.
Yeah, man. All right, I got to be there for the 20th. I need my Altoona Shark bobblehead. It's got to be there.
I'm going to need one too, and you're going to have to show up early if you want to get one.
Yeah. Well, we'll do it. We'll do that. All right, John, thanks so much for the visit this morning. Looking forward to a big couple of weeks now with the Curve.
Thanks very much, partner. Talk to you soon.
There's Jon Mozes, the Altoona Curve. It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com.